Mainza Kangombe description, an urgent, story-driven manifesto on pain, legacy, and reinvention, told in the first person by Mainza Kangombe, founder, artist, and quantum entrepreneur. Genre, memoir, self-leadership, creativity number dedication to my king, my queen, and my God, my children, my legacy, my why, to the Hentuba and Kangombe family, whose love and sacrifice built the foundation I stand on. And to my friends, this book is for you. May your ghosts become your guides. Number epigraph, what if you're wrong about what's possible? Your ghosts are not chains, they are keys. To command the future, you must first confront the past. Only then can you begin to write your own legend, one scar at a time. If time won't bend, I'll break it just to get back to you. Author Mainza Kangombe is the founder and CEO of Malimo Quantum. Born in Dola, Zambia, Mainza's journey took him from the vibrant streets of South Bend, Indiana, to the halls of Butler University, and onward to the United Nations in New York. He's a pioneer in quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and space technology, as well as a celebrated musician. His story is one of resilience, reinvention, and relentless pursuit of meaning across continents, disciplines, and heartbreaks. Number preface, what if you're wrong about what's possible? This isn't just a book about pain. It's a call to arms, a blueprint for turning ghosts into fuel and scars into strategy. I wrote this for the outliers, the haunted, the ones who refuse to let the past dictate the future. If you're reading this, you're already part of the team. Welcome. Number Entanglement Executive Office of the Department of Political Affairs, United Nations HQ, New York City Security Council, Department of Political and Peace Building Affairs, and Department of Peace Operations. Founder and CEO. Malimo Quantum. Number acknowledgments to my children, whose absence and love shaped every line. To the ghosts of fathers, of lost loves, of unlived lives, thank you for teaching me that pain is not the end, but the engine. To every reader ready to turn suffering into strategy, now's the time. Number introduction, we spend our lives dodging pain. But what if pain is the raw material for greatness? My album, Exit Music, Ghost in the Pain, is not just a soundtrack, it's a blueprint for turning suffering into legacy. This book is a manifesto for anyone haunted by regret, driven by ghosts, or hungry to make meaning from the mess. The ghosts don't vanish, they become collaborators. Number prologue, before the first lyric, before the first heartbreak, there was a boy in Dola who dreamed of bending time. This is not just my story. It's a blueprint for anyone who's ever felt haunted, exiled, or undone by their own ambition. If you're searching for meaning in the chaos, you're in the right place. Let's begin. We spend much of our lives trying to avoid pain. We medicate it, distract ourselves from it, or bury it under ambition. But what if the very thing we fear holds the key to our power? Mainza Kangombe's Exit Music. Ghost in the Pain offers a clue. His lyrics are not a lament, but a blueprint. Pain, he suggests, is not an enemy to defeat, but a raw material to refine. The album's recurring themes, haunting memories, fractured time, the tension between chaos and control, mirror a truth great founders and artists understand. Suffering is a forge. Consider how trauma shapes us. The ghosts Kangombe describes, lost love, absent fathers, systemic injustice, are not mere burdens. They are teachers. A founder who fails spectacularly learns more in 6 months than a decade of safe choices. A writer who channels heartbreak creates work that outlives them. Pain compresses time, forcing clarity. It strips away the trivial and leaves only what matters. This compression is what Kangombe calls quantum pain. When he raps about bending time, he's not describing science fiction, but a mental shift. Regret becomes fuel. Nostalgia morphs into a blueprint. Think of Einstein reimagining physics while working a patent office job, or Mandela transforming prison into a leadership laboratory. Suffering, when reframed, accelerates growth. The album's most radical idea is that purpose emerges from voids. Home's a black hole, Kangombe observes, not as defeat, but strategy. Emptiness, failure, rejection, silence creates gravitational pull. It demands reinvention. Startups often pivot not because they want to, but because their original plan collapses. The same applies to people. What looks like a dead end is often a hidden threshold. But there's a catch. To harness pain, you must first stop running from it. Society sells comfort as the ideal, but comfort breeds stagnation. Kangombe's lyrics reject this. He leans into madness, chaos, and unresolved endings because they're fertile. Picasso didn't paint Guernica by seeking peace. He channeled the horror of war into a masterpiece. The lesson here is simple but profound. Your lowest moments are not obstacles, they're the foundation. Pain carves depth into your character, much like erosion shapes a canyon. It's uncomfortable, even cruel. But the result is a landscape where meaning can grow. Kangombe's work ends with an anthem of defiance. Exit music, baby. It's not a retreat, but a declaration. When you stop fearing pain, you gain agency over it. You compose your own narrative. And in that act of creation, you find what all great artists and innovators seek, not just survival, but a legacy. The ghosts don't vanish. They become collaborators. Number it's all live till it's done. Number chapter 1. The anatomy of ghosts' memories got expiration dates. But grief, that shit's eternal. They say the past is a foreign country, but for me, it's a haunted house when I never truly leave. Every corridor echoes with the footsteps of those I've lost. Every room is lined with portraits of the man I could have been. My ghosts don't rattle chains. They whisper in the language of regret, longing, and lessons unfinished. I am Mainza, and I have learned that the most persistent phantoms are not those that terrify us, but those that instruct us if we dare to listen. Grief is not a wound that scabs over. It is a curriculum. I remember the day I left Butler University, the sting of unfinished promise burning in my chest. I remember the silence of my father's absence, the ache of love lost to time and bureaucracy. The world teaches us to run from these ghosts, to medicate or outwork them. But I have found that pain, when faced head on, becomes a forge. It was in the crucible of loss, leaving home, losing love, failing spectacularly, that I discovered the raw materials of power. I see it everywhere. In Mandela's cell, where the walls became mirrors and the years became teachers. In the lyrics I wrote for Ghost in the Pain, where every line is a confession and a challenge. My ghosts taught me that suffering is not an enemy to defeat, but a resource to refine. The pain of missing my children, the sting of being an outsider in the UN's marble corridors, the humiliation of rejection, each became a lesson in resilience, a law of survival. To exorcise your ghosts, you must first weaponize their lessons. I learned to turn absence into ambition, heartbreak into strategy. The world rewards those who can transmute agony into action. I became fluent in the language of loss, and in doing so, I found a strange authority. The ghosts that once sabotaged my progress became my most loyal advisors. They reminded me that every setback contains the blueprint for a comeback, that every scar is an emblem of survival. Psychologically, we are programmed to avoid pain, but the paradox is that the more we run, the more power we surrender to our ghosts. The moment I stopped fleeing, when I sat with my grief, wrote it into lyrics, spoke it aloud, I began to command the future. My ghosts became my generals. They taught me that the only way out is through, and that mastery is born not from comfort, but from confrontation. Your ghosts are not chains, they are keys. To command the future, you must first confront the past. Only then can you begin to write your own legend, one scar at a time. Number chapter 2. Quantum pain. If time won't bend, I'll break it just to get back to you. Time is the ultimate tyrant. It is the judge that separates fathers from children, lovers from their past, and dreamers from the futures they once believed inevitable. My relationship with time has never been linear. It folds, fractures, and loops back on itself, each moment haunted by